The heat of Miami was different from anything Antoine Griezmann had ever known. It wasn't the sharp, dry warmth of Madrid or the calm Mediterranean air of Barcelona. It was heavier, alive, and humming with the rhythm of a city that pulsed through the night. When he first stepped off the private jet that carried him to the United States, the air seemed to embrace him like a living thing, thick with the scent of salt, asphalt, and possibility. For the French forward, the journey that had begun in the small town of Mâcon had finally arrived at a destination few could have predicted, the expanding galaxy of Inter Miami CF. The story of Griezmann's arrival in South Florida was not merely another chapter in the sport's endless carousel of transfers. It was a signal, a testament to the new gravitational pull Major League Soccer had begun to exert on the global game. For years, the idea of world-class players in their prime, heading west was met with skepticism. But Miami, with its combination of glamour, ambition, and global vision, was rewriting that story. And at the center of it now stood Griezmann, a World Cup winner, a magician of space and timing, and a player whose footballing life had been defined by both triumph and reinvention. The path to this moment was neither linear nor easy. Born in 1991 in Mâcon, France, Antoine Griezmann was never the prototype of a football prodigy. Too small for the academies of Lyon and Saint-Étienne, he had been turned away repeatedly in his youth. Yet that rejection became his first teacher. His journey took him to Spain at the age of 13, when Real Sociedad took a chance on a slender, blonde-haired teenager with quick feet and a relentless work ethic. It was in San Sebastian that his story began to take shape, not just as a footballer, but as a competitor with a quiet, unyielding edge. By the time he arrived at Atletico Madrid in 2014, Griezmann was ready for the world stage. Under Diego Simeone, he transformed from a promising winger into one of Europe's most complete forwards, agile, tireless, and deadly in transitions. He thrived in Atletico's system, where intensity was both art and doctrine. The team reached the UEFA Champions League final in 2016, and though defeat came on penalties against Real Madrid, Griezmann's reputation soared. In the years that followed, he became synonymous with Atletico's grit, scoring goals that carried them to a Europa League triumph and a World Cup victory with France in 2018. The ocean glittered like melted glass as the jet descended through the Miami sky. Beneath it, the grid of palm-lined streets stretched toward the horizon, a city pulsing with color, rhythm, and heat. Antoine Griezmann leaned toward the window, his reflection framed against the morning light, and watched as the skyline emerged, a new world unfolding beneath him. He had crossed continents and careers to arrive here. Now, at 34, he was about to begin again. It was not the first time his path had bent away from expectations. Every stage of his life had been a defiance of prediction. In Mâcon, the small French town of his birth, he had been told he was too small to make it. The academies of Lyon and Metz had measured his height, his frame, and decided he lacked the size for survival. Yet inside him burned a defiant quietness, a certainty that the game would eventually recognize him if he could just find the right place to belong. That place had first been Spain. San